Jake woke up in a metal cage. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know how he got there. And he didn't know who put him there. But he knew one thing. Someone was hunting him. This is a mystery story created for English listening and shadowing practice. I will speak slowly and clearly. You can pause the video and repeat at your own pace. This is not just a story about survival. It is a story about trust, courage, and discovering who your real friends are. If you enjoy learning English with suspenseful stories like this, subscribe to the channel. This helps me create more stories to help you improve your English naturally. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Cage. Jake opened his eyes. Everything was dark, cold. His head hurt. His arms hurt. He tried to move, but he couldn't. Metal bars surrounded him. He was in a cage, a trap. How did he get here? He tried to remember. He was walking home from school. It was getting dark. He took a shortcut through the woods. Then nothing. Someone hit him. Someone knocked him out. Someone trapped him like an animal. Jake's heart raced. He pushed against the bars. They didn't move. Solid steel. He was stuck. "Help!" he shouted. "Someone help me!" No answer. Just silence. And darkness. Jake felt panic rising in his chest. But then he heard something. Footsteps. Getting closer. Someone was coming. "Okay, what do you think is coming? Keep listening to find out." Jake held his breath. The footsteps stopped, right outside his cage. He couldn't see who it was. Too dark. "Hello, Jake," a voice said. Deep, cold, unfamiliar. "Who are you?" Jake asked. "Why am I here?" The person laughed. "You'll find out soon enough. For now, just sit tight. Your game is about to begin." "Game?" Jake said. "What game? I don't want to play any game. Let me go." But the footsteps walked away, leaving Jake alone again. In the darkness, in the cage, fear turned to anger. Jake rattled the bars, kicked them, pulled them. Nothing worked. Then he noticed something, a small opening at the bottom of the cage, a drainage hole, maybe big enough to squeeze through, maybe his only chance. Jake lay down, started pushing his arm through the hole. It hurt. The metal cut his skin, but he kept going. His arm went through, then his shoulder. He was making progress, but then he heard it again. Footsteps coming back. Faster this time. "Stop!" the voice shouted. "Don't even think about escaping." Jake pulled harder. His head was almost through. "I said stop!" the voice yelled. A hand grabbed Jake's arm, pulled him back, slammed him against the cage floor. "You don't learn, do you?" the voice said. Jake looked up, saw a face, a man, maybe 40 years old, wearing a mask, a black mask covering half his face. "Who are you?" Jake asked again. "I'm the hunter," the man said, "and you're my prey. Now stop trying to escape, or I'll make this much worse for you." The hunter walked away, locked a second door. Now Jake was trapped twice, no way out, or so it seemed. But Jake didn't know something important. He wasn't alone in these woods, and someone was watching, someone who could help, if Jake could find them in time. Chapter 2. The watcher hours passed, maybe days. Jake couldn't tell. No sunlight reached his cage, no sounds except wind and leaves. He was hungry, thirsty, exhausted, but he stayed alert, watching, listening, looking for any chance to escape. Then he heard a different sound, not footsteps, something smaller, scratching, getting closer to his cage. Jake pressed his face against the bars, tried to see what it was. Then he saw eyes, small yellow eyes, glowing in the darkness. An animal. "Hello?" Jake whispered. The eyes moved closer, into a small beam of moonlight. Jake saw what it was. A fox. Small. Young. Maybe a year old. Red fur. White chest. Beautiful, but wild. The fox tilted its head, stared at Jake. "Can you help me?" Jake whispered. He knew animals couldn't understand, but he was desperate. The fox made a sound, not a bark, more like a chirp. Then it ran away. Jake's heart sank. Even the animals were leaving him. But 5 minutes later, the fox came back, and it wasn't alone. What the fox brought changed everything. Following the fox was another animal, bigger, a raccoon, then another fox, then a rabbit, then a deer. 5 animals, all staring at Jake, all watching him. "What's happening?" Jake whispered. The first fox approached the cage, sniffed the lock, then did something impossible. It grabbed the lock with its teeth, started pulling. The other animals joined in. The raccoon used its little hands, actually tried to open the lock. The deer pushed against the cage, testing its strength. They were trying to help him. Jake couldn't believe it. Wild animals, working together, trying to free a human. "Thank you," Jake said, tears in his eyes. "Thank you for trying." But the lock was too strong. Even with 5 animals helping, they couldn't open it. The animals made frustrated sounds, circled the cage, looking for another way. Then the raccoon noticed something. The drainage hole. The same hole Jake tried to use. The raccoon squeaked, got the other animals' attention. They all gathered around the hole, started digging, making it bigger. Their claws scraped metal and dirt. Slowly, the hole grew, bigger, wider, deeper. "Yes," Jake whispered. "Keep going." But then they heard it. That sound, footsteps. The hunter was coming back. The animals scattered, ran into the darkness, leaving Jake alone again. The hunter appeared, carrying something, a tray of food. He slid it through a slot in the cage. "Eat," he commanded. "You'll need your strength." "For what?" Jake asked. "What are you going to do to me?" The hunter laughed. "Tomorrow," he said. "Tomorrow the real game begins." "What game?" Jake demanded. But the hunter just walked away, leaving Jake with more questions than answers. Jake looked at the food, bread, water, an apple. He was so hungry, but could he trust it? What if it was poisoned? What if this was part of the game? He decided to risk it, ate slowly, watching for any strange effects. Nothing happened, just normal food. After eating, Jake felt stronger, his mind clearer. He thought about the animals. Why did they help him? How did they know he needed help, and where did they go? As if answering his question, he heard the scratching again. The animals were back, and they brought something. The fox dropped something through the bars, a stick, a strong stick. The raccoon brought rocks. The rabbit brought rope, vine rope from the forest. They were giving him tools. "You're amazing," Jake whispered. "You're actually helping me escape." He took the stick, the rocks, the rope, started working on the drainage hole, using the rocks to chip away metal, using the stick as a lever, using the rope to tie things together. Hours passed. The hole grew bigger, big enough now, big enough for Jake to fit through. "I can do this," he said to himself. "I can escape." He started pushing through, inch by inch. The metal scraped his skin, cut his arms, but he kept going. His head went through, then his shoulders, then his chest. He was almost free, almost out. But then he heard a sound that made his blood freeze. A dog barking. The hunter had a dog, and it was coming, fast. Will Jake escape in time, or will the hunter's dog catch him? Keep listening. Chapter 3. The Chase. Jake pulled harder, desperate now. The barking got louder, closer. He was stuck. His hips wouldn't fit through the hole. Too narrow. "Come on," he grunted, pulled with all his strength. The wild animals circled around him. The fox bit his shirt, pulled. The raccoon pushed from behind. The deer used its antlers to widen the hole. Together, they freed him. Jake's body slid through. He was out of the cage, but not out of danger. The dog appeared, big, black, German shepherd, trained to hunt. It saw Jake, barked louder, started running. "Go," the fox seemed to say. The animals scattered. Jake ran through the dark forest. Branches whipped his face. Roots tried to trip him, but he kept running. The dog was faster, getting closer. Jake could hear its breathing, feel its presence. He needed to climb, get off the ground. He spotted a tree, jumped, grabbed a branch, pulled himself up. The dog reached the tree, jumped, snapped at Jake's foot, missed by inches. Jake climbed higher, but he couldn't stay here forever. The hunter would come, find him, drag him back. He needed a plan. Then he saw them, the animals. They hadn't abandoned him. They were creating a diversion. The fox ran past the dog, teasing it. The dog turned, chased the fox. The raccoon threw rocks, hit the dog from another direction, confused it. The rabbit led it away into the deep woods, away from Jake. "Thank you," Jake whispered. He climbed down, started running again. Different direction, away from the dog, away from the hunter, toward freedom. He ran for what felt like hours, until he saw it. Lights, a road, civilization. He was almost there, almost safe. But then he heard a voice, going somewhere. The hunter, standing between Jake and the road, holding something, a tranquilizer gun. "The game isn't over," the hunter said. "In fact, it's just beginning." He raised the gun, aimed at Jake. Jake froze. No way to run, no way to fight. This was it. But then something happened. Something impossible. And the animals attacked, all of them, together. The fox jumped at the hunter's leg, bit hard. The hunter yelled, dropped the gun. The raccoon climbed his back, scratched his neck. The deer charged, hit him with its antlers, knocked him down. The rabbit and second fox grabbed the gun, dragged it away. The hunter tried to fight, but 5 animals were too many. They weren't just helping Jake, they were protecting him, like family. "Run, Jake," a voice said. "Wait, a voice." Jake looked around. Who said that? "Run now," the voice repeated. It was coming from the fox? No. That was impossible. Animals couldn't talk. But the fox was staring at him, making eye contact, and Jake heard the voice again. In his mind, "We don't have much time. Run to the road. Flag down a car. Get help." Jake didn't understand, but he didn't need to. He ran to the road, saw headlights approaching, waved his arms, jumped, screamed, "Help! Please help me!" The car stopped. A woman rolled down the window. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Call the police," Jake gasped. "There's a man in the woods. He kidnapped me. He's dangerous." The woman grabbed her phone, called 911. Within minutes, sirens filled the air. Police cars, ambulances, search teams. They flooded into the woods, found the hunter, still fighting the animals. They arrested him, handcuffed him, put him in a police car. A paramedic checked Jake. "You're very lucky," she said. "Most kidnapping victims don't escape." "How did you do it?" Jake looked back at the woods. The animals were watching from the shadows. The fox made eye contact one more time, then they disappeared into the darkness. "I had help," Jake said quietly. "Friends I didn't know I had." But the story doesn't end here, because Jake needed to understand something. Why did those animals help him, and how could he hear them? Chapter 4. The Truth. 1 week later, Jake was home, safe, healing. The police caught the hunter. His real name was Marcus Webb, a game hunter, who decided humans were the ultimate prey. He had kidnapped 5 people. Jake was going to be number 6, but Jake escaped. Thanks to the animals, the police asked Jake many questions. How did you escape the cage? How did you avoid the dog? How did you know where to run? Jake told them about the animals. They wrote it down, but he could tell they didn't believe him. They thought he was confused, traumatized, making things up. But Jake knew the truth. Those animals helped him, saved his life, and somehow he heard them speak. He needed to understand why. One night, Jake snuck out, went back to the woods, to the place where it happened. He walked carefully, quietly, looking for any sign of the animals. "Hello?" he called softly. "Are you there? Can you hear me?" Silence. Just wind and trees. Maybe it was all in his head. Maybe the trauma made him imagine things. He turned to leave, but then he heard it. That voice again. "You came back." Jake spun around. The fox was standing there, yellow eyes glowing. "You can talk," Jake whispered. "I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy." "Not talk," the fox said. "Think. We think, and you hear, but only you. Why only me? Jake asked. The fox sat down. You have a gift, it said, a rare gift. You can hear the thoughts of animals. Most humans have lost this ability, but a few still have it. You're one of them. Jake sat down too, his mind racing. I can hear animals think. Yes, the fox said. We don't speak your language, but our thoughts translate in your mind. It's always been this way. Humans just forgot how to listen. Why did you help me? Jake asked. The fox looked sad. Because we know what it's like to be trapped, it said. Humans set traps for us every day. Cages, snares, hunters. We're hunted, just like you were. When we saw you in that cage, we saw ourselves. We couldn't leave you there. Jake felt tears coming. Thank you, he said. You saved my life, and you saved ours, the fox said. What do you mean? Jake asked. The hunter trapped us too, the fox explained, before he trapped you. We escaped, but he was still hunting, still setting traps. When you got him arrested, you saved every animal in these woods. The police destroyed all his traps, cleared the area. We're safe now. Because of you. Jake understood now. They helped each other, saved each other. That's what real friends do. What's your name? Jake asked the fox. We don't have names like you do, the fox said, but you can call me Swift, because I run fast. Hi, Swift, Jake said. I'm Jake. I know, Swift said. I've been listening to your thoughts since the day we met. Over the next few weeks, Jake visited the woods every day, talked to Swift, met the other animals, the raccoon, who called herself Clever, the deer, Strong, the rabbit, Quick, the second fox, Shadow. They became his friends, his real friends. Better than any human friends he had, they taught him about the forest, about survival, about trust. And Jake taught them about the human world, about safety, about which areas to avoid, about how to stay free. One day, Jake asked Swift something important. Why can I hear you, but others can't? Swift thought for a moment. Because you listen, he said. Most humans talk but never listen. They see animals as less than them, as objects, as things. But you see us as equals, as friends. That's why you can hear us. That's your gift, Jake smiled. It's the best gift I've ever received. But Jake's gift came with a responsibility, a big responsibility. And soon he would have to use it to help others. And Chapter 5, The Rescue. 3 months after Jake's kidnapping, life was normal again. He went to school, did homework, spent time with family, but every evening he visited the woods, talked to his animal friends, learned more about his gift. One evening, Swift came to him urgently. Jake, we need your help. What's wrong? Jake asked. There's a girl, Swift said, in the woods. She's trapped in an old well. She's been there for 2 days. We can't help her, but you can. Jake's heart raced. Take me to her, he said. Swift ran. Jake followed. Through the deep woods, to a hidden area where an old well stood, covered with rotting wood. Jake looked down, saw her, a girl about his age, sitting in water, cold, scared, exhausted. "Hello?" Jake called down. "Can you hear me?" The girl looked up. "Help!" she cried. "Please help me. I've been here for 2 days. Nobody can hear me." "I can hear you," Jake said. "Hold on. I'm calling for help." He pulled out his phone, called 911. "There's a girl trapped in a well," he said, "in the North Woods, near the old hiking trail. She needs help now." He gave them coordinates, directions, everything they needed. Within 20 minutes, rescue teams arrived. They pulled the girl out, wrapped her in blankets, checked her health. She was hypothermic, dehydrated, but alive. "How did you find me?" she asked Jake. "I was looking for my dog," Jake lied, "and I heard you calling." "Thank you," she said, crying. "Thank you for saving my life. I thought I was going to die down there." The paramedics took her away, to the hospital, to safety. Jake watched them leave, then turned to Swift. "Thank you for telling me," Jake said. "You saved her life too." "We worked together," Swift said. "That's what friends do." From that day on, Jake used his gift differently. He became a bridge between animals and humans. When animals found people in danger, they told Jake. When people threatened animal habitats, Jake warned them. He started a blog, The Voice of the Wild, sharing stories about animal behavior, about conservation, about treating animals with respect. People started listening, started caring, started protecting. Jake even started a volunteer program, teaching kids about wildlife, about listening, about understanding that animals aren't just things. They're intelligent, they're emotional, they're alive. One day, a reporter came to interview him. "Jake, people call you the animal whisperer," she said. "How do you understand animals so well?" Jake smiled. "I don't whisper to them," he said. "I listen, really listen. And if you listen carefully enough, you'll hear them too. Not with your ears, but with your heart." The reporter wrote a story. It went viral. Millions of people read it. Thousands started visiting the woods, not to hunt, not to destroy, but to listen, to learn, to connect. Jake's gift was spreading, not the ability to hear animal thoughts, but the ability to see them as equals, as friends, as family, and that changed everything. Epilogue. The Gift. 5 years later, Jake was 18, graduating high school. He had been accepted to college to study wildlife biology, to continue his work, his mission. But before he left for college, he visited the woods one more time to say goodbye to his friends. Swift was waiting, older now, wiser. "You're leaving," Swift said. Not a question, a statement. "Yes," Jake said, "but I'll come back. Every break, every summer. I promise." "I know you will," Swift said. "You're loyal. That's why we trust you." "I have something for you," Jake said. He pulled out a collar, a special collar with a tracker. "This will keep you safe," Jake said. "If you're ever in danger, press this button. It will alert me. No matter where I am, I'll come." Swift looked at the collar. "I don't like collars," he said. "They remind me of traps." "This isn't a trap," Jake said. "It's a promise. A promise that I'll always protect you, like you protected me." Swift considered this, then nodded. Jake put the collar on gently. "We're connected now," Jake said, "always." Over the years, Jake became famous, not as a celebrity, but as an activist, a scientist, a voice for those who couldn't speak. He wrote books, gave speeches, created documentaries, all about the intelligence of animals, about their emotions, their families, their rights. Laws changed because of his work. Hunting regulations became stricter. Wildlife reserves expanded. Animal cruelty punishments increased. The world was slowly learning to listen, learning to care. One day, Jake received a call from the police. "Mr. Jake, we need your help. There's been another kidnapping. A child taken into the woods. We've searched for 3 days. Nothing. Can you help?" Jake smiled. "I know exactly who to ask." He went to the woods, called for Swift. "I need your help, old friend." Swift appeared, not alone. He brought his pack, his family, his children, grandchildren. "Tell us what you need," Swift said. "A child is missing," Jake said. "Can you find them?" The foxes scattered, searching, tracking, using senses humans didn't have. Within 2 hours, they found the child, hidden in a cave, cold but alive. Jake called the police, guided them to the location. Another life saved, another family reunited. The police captain shook Jake's hand. "How do you do it?" he asked. "How do you always find them?" Jake looked at Swift, standing in the shadows, watching. "I have good friends," Jake said. "Very good friends." That night, Jake sat with Swift under the stars. "Thank you," Jake said, "for everything, for saving me, for teaching me, for trusting me." "Thank you for listening," Swift said. "Most humans never do. But you did. And you taught other humans to listen too. That's the greatest gift. Not hearing us, but teaching others to hear us." Jake smiled. "It's because of you," he said. "You showed me that we're all connected. Humans and animals. We're not separate. We're family." "Yes," Swift agreed. "We are." They sat in silence. Comfortable silence. The kind only true friends can share. And Jake realized something. He had been trapped in that cage for a reason. Not to suffer, but to learn. To understand, to become the bridge between two worlds. His kidnapping wasn't just a tragedy. It was a beginning. The beginning of something beautiful, something important, something that would change the world. The moral of the story. My friends, Jake's story teaches us something powerful, something we often forget. We are not alone in this world. We share it with millions of other beings, animals, creatures with thoughts, feelings, families, but we treat them as less than us, as objects, as things we can use and discard. Jake was trapped in a cage, helpless, scared, alone, and the animals saved him. Not because they wanted something, not because they expected a reward, but because they saw a living being in pain, and they chose to help. That's compassion, that's empathy, that's what we should all practice. When Jake escaped, he could have forgotten about the animals, gone back to normal life, ignored what happened, but he didn't. He listened, he learned, he became their voice, and in doing so, he changed the world, made it kinder, made it safer, made it better, for animals and humans alike. The lesson here is simple but profound. Listen, really listen, not just to people, but to all living beings. They have something to teach us about survival, about family, about loyalty, about love. When Jake was trapped, the animals didn't see a human, they saw a fellow creature in need. When the animals needed help, Jake didn't see animals, he saw friends. That's how we should all see each other, not as different species, not as superior or inferior, but as equals, as family, as partners sharing this beautiful planet. Jake's gift wasn't just hearing animal thoughts. His real gift was seeing them as worthy of respect, of protection, of love. You have that gift too, we all do. We just need to choose to use it. The next time you see an animal, don't just look, listen, watch, try to understand. They're not so different from us. They feel pain, they feel joy, they love their families, they fear danger, they want to live, just like we do. And they deserve our respect, our protection, our compassion. Jake was saved by animals, but he saved them too, by giving them a voice, by teaching humans to listen, by building a bridge between two worlds. You can do the same. You don't need to hear animal thoughts. You just need to care, to speak up when you see cruelty, to protect when you see danger, to help when you see need. That's the real message of this story. We're all connected, we're all family, we're all in this together, and together we can make the world better for everyone, human and animal alike. Thank you so much for listening to The Boy in the Trap. What an incredible journey we shared. Jake's story shows us that sometimes the help we need comes from unexpected places, and that listening, really listening, can change everything. What did you think of this story? Did it change how you see animals? Did it make you want to listen more carefully to the world around you? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your reflections. And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. It helps me create more meaningful stories like this. Stories that teach important lessons. Stories that help you practice English. Stories that inspire you to see the world differently. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. Remember, you can listen to this story as many times as you want. You can pause and repeat. You can practice shadowing. Take your time with your English learning journey. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for practicing your English. Thank you for opening your heart to Jake's story. I hope you carry his lesson with you. Listen to all living beings. Treat them with respect. See them as family. And together, we can make the world better. Until next time, my friends, keep learning, keep growing, and keep listening to everyone and everything around you. Goodbye and good luck with your English journey. Remember, the world is full of voices. You just need to listen. See you in the next story.